Okay, now that everybody's here, we'll begin the press conference and have Coach give us an opening remark about 2 days before the National Championship Sunday. So, Coach, welcome in.
Yeah, just very thankful to be practicing today and still, in awe of this team and what we did last night and just kind of soaking that in, and took a light practice today, and we'll get after it a little bit more tomorrow, but use today as kind of a mental reset and organizational day. And I think our team's in great spirits, and what we did do today was fantastic. But yes, just still really proud, and just haven't even had time to rewatch the whole game. So excited to do that here when we get back to the hotel.
Thanks, Danny. Let's go to questions. Right side, second row.
Danny, I wonder if you could give us an update on Anna and whether you expect her to play, and if she does play, is 80% of her better than 100% of Peyton?
It's an ankle injury, so I think it's kind of day to day, and we'll see. We're going to do everything we can to get her on the court, but we do have a great team behind her. If she can't go, we'll we have some options.
Next question. Left side, far left.
Thank you. Coach, you've talked a lot about this senior class over the course of the tournament run and the impact that they've had here leading up to the championship game. Can you just talk about their legacy, and then also, I guess, how this particular tournament run, the way that it's gone, has cemented that?
Yeah, I mean, this is their third Final Four, the second national championship match, and beyond that, just, really coming to Louisville and believing in the vision and making it a reality and grabbing this community and making, this community not only a place where people love to play volleyball, but people love to watch volleyball and come to matches and support them. So they not only did a lot just in their wins and losses, but just a lot for the whole city. And then this year in particular is, I think, a little bit more unique because we had a lot more questions early on in the season. We had players kind of in and out of the lineup. We were trying to figure things out, and the 5 seniors just were so solid mentally and with their trust and their day-to-day communication and interaction that it always made it feel like we were going to keep getting better, and we haven't peaked yet. And it was a big part because of the way they handled every single day and came in, ready to work and just trusted the staff. And it's amazing when that all comes together, what can happen.
Okay, thanks. Next question, I believe, left side, back row along the aisle.
This is for the players and the coach as well. At what part of the game you knew, like, okay, we're going to win this? At what part you were saying that?
I think even though we were down from the start, we've been put in that position many times before in previous games. So I think just we had a calm demeanor the whole time, and we were pretty confident going into the second set.
Yeah, I was going to say we prepare pretty well for all of our matches, I would say, so shout out to our coaching staff. And a lot of us just have confidence within ourselves and within one another. But during the match, I guess the point that solidified it for me was we were down late in the third, or second, I don't know. And then one of our girls who doesn't get a lot of playing time, she's down on one knee during a timeout, just speaking so much life and positivity into every single one of us. And for her to just be that invested, knowing she's not really going to see the court all that much, just shows how much this team really wants this. And I was like, all right, we got to go, and we got to go now.
I never really felt like it. I was like, this is an eternity. I think we were up 12-6. I'm like, this feels like an eternity before we win this match.
All right. Let's go right side, second row here.
Danny, you've had a chance in terms of building this program to really kind of see the growth around here, popularity. But when you look at the bigger picture of the sport, how do you feel like volleyball has become so appealing to the masses in terms of watching on TV, in terms of packing the arena last night. Is there one thing that you feel like the game has offered that now people are starting to pay attention to?
Well, I think the athletes are bigger and stronger and, more fun to watch, and so that puts a better product on the court. But I also think we've been given a platform and taken advantage of it, and it was just, we said this earlier this year, 2 years ago, the first game was played on ESPN. It was us versus Kentucky. That was literally 2 years ago. So now you see games on NBC and ABC and all the ESPN networks, and so we're finally getting the platform where people can watch, and it's showing that people want to watch it and enjoy it, and it's a really fun sport. I think it's great for kids, to come to games. I have a lot of friends and family with young children because it's so fast-paced. There's cheering after every point. So there's a lot of great things about our sport that make it fun to attend and watch on TV.
Okay, I think we have a slew of questions on the right side here. Start with Tim, then Jody, and then we'll go in the back. And then we'll go to the left side.
For Elena and PK, the Penn State match in September was probably the low point, statistically at least, for this team. You hit 091, you scored 47 points in 3 sets. When did the light come on? When did you start to feel as if this was a really elite team, or could be elite team?
I mean, I knew this was going to be an elite team because every single girl on this roster decided to come and play here for this amazing coaching staff. And despite some of our ugly losses early in the season, I would say this team definitely started to solidify its identity in the postseason with that win versus the University of Northern Iowa. But other than that, we've all just always had it in us. And I still think there's another level this team can take itself to. So it's really cool that we have another opportunity to show that.
Yeah, I think the early losses in the season helped us grow and kind of just understand who we are. And even though those were hard times, they made us grow even stronger and just come together as a team.
Dani, you mentioned day-to-day with Anna. How big is it to have an extra day? I think when you played in the Final Four 2 years ago, you only had 1 day in between. How big is that? And then second thing, is there much difference in preparation if you're going to have her or if you're not going to have her on the floor?
It's huge. The extra day gives us hope. I think if we were playing tomorrow, there'd be no hope. So I think it's also just much better for our sport when today we have the All-American banquet, we have interviews, we have practice. It's a busy day. It would feel very rushed and crazy to be playing tomorrow. So I think just for the whole team, that's so much better for our sport. And no, there's not much difference in preparation. And, I'm thankful looking back how we run our practices. We have mixed teams every single day. We make sure we do drills where it's not starters versus non-starters the whole time. And so all these players are used to playing with each other. And this is one time I'm very thankful for that. And sometimes we think maybe we shouldn't do it as much as we do. Well, now that's paying off. So the comfort should be no problem.
Right side, back row.
It was clear the home court advantage just last night, and I'm curious, was there a moment or maybe something that felt almost surreal in terms of the engagement with the crowd and especially you women on the floor?
I think one moment that really stuck out to me was when Anna did go down and Peyton came in and she had some huge aces and the crowd just kind of went crazy and I just had chills and it was just a surreal moment.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, just hearing the crowd during the rallies was super cool because we've had the opportunity to play here at the KFC Center a few times throughout the season, but it's like an NCAA Terra flag, so it's not really home court advantage, but just knowing that we're in our city that we love and all of our people are just able to come and see us conveniently really helps out a lot. But yeah, the crowd was rocking, so just feeding off of their fire was huge.
Next question is left side, back row.
Yeah, PK, I've read comments from you in the past talking about your coach's toughness. And can you speak to that, to Dani's toughness and how that shows up in a moment like you faced, or several moments like you faced last night against Pitt?
Yeah, so we talked a lot about just the power of the unit this year, how it's going to take every single one of us, and who's, that charged base within our program, and that would be our coaching staff, Miss Dani Busboom Kelly. And there's not a day where she puts us through a crazy drill or a ridiculous practice, or she's just, talking about whatever. And I never walk away from a conversation with her thinking like, what did she just say? Like, what's going on? We all do a really good job of just taking each other for who we are, and we're very clear about our values and our goals. So we're just all on the same page often and always. And just playing for somebody who has that kind of openness and knowledge and skill level, I don't know, it's just like, she's just such an easy person to play for. And I think the last time I was on here on the mic talking about Dani, I called her a badass, so I'm gonna double down on that one. Because she's legit. She's the truth.
Staying on the left side in the back.
Coach, when Anna returned from the locker room from her injury, I saw that you had a conversation with her. As a competitor, was she trying to convince you to let her back in the game?
A little bit. She was like, I think I can go, I think I can go. And then she jumped a little bit. She's like, I'm not sure, but I'm here. And I was like, I don't think we're going to need you, thank gosh. So there wasn't much conversation after that.
Very good. We have two, I think, here in the left side, second row.
This is a question for the badass. Have you, as a mom, ever had times where it's been difficult for you to coach because of being tugged in different directions or just, the demands?
For sure. I think, this whole tournament has been a little bit of a challenge. It's like such a blessing to be home, and there's so many amazing things about it. But like last night, I wanted to get home so I could wake up and see my son this morning. So it's just like the balancing act is a little bit tougher, where you want to be in both places, and maybe I should be more focused on volleyball. But I also want to take advantage, like this is rare. So the next postseason run, we're not going to be in Louisville, so I won't get these opportunities. So I want to take advantage of the opportunities that I do have to be a mom and make that a priority. But I'm lucky, like our whole staff has young kids, so we can kind of balance it out between each other, and I think that really helps, and it makes it not feel like somebody's missing this or somebody's missing that. It's like, okay, you have this tonight, you have this, and we do a good job of that.
Well, since last night, have you spoken to Bobby Peterson, and or before that, have you ever compared, mom coaching notes?
I have not compared mom coaching notes. We just texted a little bit, congrats, and I'm sure she wasn't expecting that last night, but I was asking Peyton, I'm like, I wonder how your mom feels, because they totally could have knocked us out, but if they would have, you wouldn't have had that moment. So who knows what would have happened. But my husband said she looked down at Bobby, and Bobby's like, buckle up when Peyton won the game. So I think it was a pretty cool coaching moment for her.
Okay, go back to the left side here, second row, and then we'll come to the right.
Coach, I know we asked you about this back in 2022, but this will be a historic final with you and Katie. And Coach Cook said last night that the silver lining, even though he was disappointed, was the two of you would be squaring off, and that a woman would win a championship. What does this mean to you as a coach, and what do you think it means to today's players?
No, it's hard to really just put that in words. I think it's more of a feeling, and it's more like just being really proud that we can be the role models and hopefully blaze a new trail, and show ADs that women can do. We can be moms and we can be high-level coaches, and then not only show ADs that women can do it, but our players that they can do both, and then we can be examples day to day of how to do that. We want our whether they want to be full-time moms or have a career, we want to be a good example for that. But it's going to be awesome for the sport, I think, to get this monkey off its back and move on from this, and where it's not historic that a woman wins, it's just a regular thing. And that'll be great when it's every Final Four there's a chance for a woman to win it.
Okay. Right side.
For both players, recognizing that you don't probably have medical degrees, what is your expectation from Anna on Sunday? Do you think she'll give it a go, and what do you expect from her?
My only expectation from Anna is to keep being her. She is one of our captains, has been for years while being here, and whether she's on the court or not, she's just always going to speak life into people. She's going to stay engaged, and she's going to make sure that we get the job done regardless.
Yeah. Whether she's on the court or not, she's going to fulfill her role as a leader.
Follow up on that. Can you walk us through what exactly has been going on with her treatment? Like, what are they doing? How are they prepping her for Sunday in the hopes that she'll play?
I mean, it's trying everything and anything. So I don't think, they certainly don't know specifics. We don't know, I don't know specifics. I trust our team of docs and trainers to do what they can, and they're going to throw everything they possibly can to get her ready and give her a chance. And it's not even just about her being herself, just getting a chance to be on the court as a hometown player, playing in the national championship game on her hometown court. It's a pretty special moment.
Question, left side, back row.
Yeah, Dani, what's your perspective and your viewpoint on Katie Schumacher-Colley and her season, what she's endured this year?
Yeah, incredible, you know, and I cannot imagine going through a season, going through chemotherapy and what that must have been like. And I heard in a recent article or interview that she hasn't missed a practice all year, and that's like, that makes it even more incredible to me that she's been able to do that. And I also think, I'm sure, I haven't listened to her press conferences, but just following Russ Rose, who's one of the most legendary coaches ever in our sport, and to take a team back to the Final Four in just 3 years, like take being a man or a woman out of it, that's an amazing accomplishment. And then what she's done this year, despite, you know, the breast cancer, and you know, she has a new team. It's really, really impressive, and I think another just great moment for the sport of volleyball.
Left side on the aisle.
This is for the players. When you watch a game film, how do you approach it? Do you listen to the broadcast, or you mute it, or how do you listen or watch game film when you on television?
Like on other teams?
No,
Or
for your matches.
A little bit of both, maybe. You don't want to listen to like everything that the commentators say, but we like to watch film like on our own sometimes too, just to like self-reflect on what we did as a team. So a little bit of both.
What she said.
Left side, second row.
Coach, sort of another history question. The ACC, this would be the first title for an ACC team. Obviously, Stanford came in, but their titles were with the Pac-12. But when you came into this program, nobody maybe would have expected it to happen as quickly for this team, but it has. What do you think's been the big key, and what does this mean to represent your conference the way that you guys have?
You know, the players, you know, we got some great players that believed in the vision. The rise of Pitt volleyball, I think, just put the ACC on the map. So more players wanted to come into the conference. And, you know, when 8 years ago, felt like I was always fighting the battle of, well, I want to play in the Big Ten. I'll go to this school just because they're in the Big Ten. And now we don't hear that anymore, which is great. So I think it's just all the ACC schools have really stepped up. And I think the ACC has some of the best young coaches in volleyball right now, which is exciting, and just expect it to get better and better each year.
Anything else? Gary, right side, second row.
For either player, when you look back on those two aces by Peyton last night, which one was more impressive? I think there was one that looked like it was down the line and just got inside the corner that seemed to freeze them. That's the one that kind of stood out. But, you know, when you reflect back on that, was that another gear you didn't see in her, or was that pretty typical?
I'd say that's pretty typical for her. She's competing every single day in practice, and the consistency of her serve is insane. So both of those serves were insane to do.
I was gonna say the first one was cool because like nobody touched it, it just like fell on that back line. It's like your worst nightmare as a serve receiver. I don't do any of that, so kudos to you guys. But the second one, it's like put that ball on the seam against like some of like the 2 best outside hitters in the conference in the country. Like that's hard to do. So yeah, just the work she puts in and day out showed off, and I love that for her.
Okay.
Dani, you're always so composed and kind of stoic out there, but you mentioned last night or trying to get back and see your son this morning. Did you ever for a moment think, okay, we're playing on the last day with a team that we kind of built for this in our home arena, and just what tomorrow is going to be like when you walk out there?
I honestly haven't really thought about it. I think that's the beauty of having 2 days is like, okay, I'm going to reset. And, but, it's going to be surreal. And I've been saying this a lot, that we were telling recruits, Elena probably and Kara Cressy, like before they were committed, the Final Four is going to be here in 2024. And they were, oh, great, but to actually be doing it is really incredible. And just to see the support of the city, and everybody's so excited, and it just means a lot to, like, for this senior class to go out on that, the highest note you could possibly go out on is an incredible accomplishment. And yeah, I think it's going to feel a little bit different on Sunday.
Anything else? All right. Guys, thanks for your time today. Good luck on Sunday.